Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast beyond a traditional entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we return to you this week from our home.
Yes.
From our place of residence. Those of you who caught us last week know that we were doing a wee little bit of traveling.
We were.
We were visiting my parents in the city, area, region of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Uh-huh.
And, well, one of the things we're going to talk about this episode is some of the ideas and lessons we learned from that trip. Because we're always looking for ways to improve haunts and make them more profitable and more awesome in various ways. So we're going to talk about that this week.
Yeah.
But if you didn't catch that episode, it was live from Myrtle Beach, where we discussed Myrtle Beach haunts, by the way.
Yes, because there were 3 year-round ones.
Yeah, 3 year-round ones. Please, you can find that episode at hauntweekly.com. We're also Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. YouTube.com/Haunt Weekly is our YouTube channel. All podcasts go up there the same time they go out anywhere else. So if that's your preferred way to subscribe and listen, Godspeed to you. You can also catch us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcasts from, really. And soon, and we are doing semi-regular live recordings. They'll be Sunday at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Pay attention to the Facebook page. That's where we'll be announcing when we're doing them. We're hoping to do one next week, actually.
Yes.
I have a very important guest next week. We haven't confirmed everything 100%, but we're going to. That's one of the things I've got to do this week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So before we jump in, I want to do a quick housekeeping thing. If you go back a few episodes, you'll recall that we kind of got screwed by our podcast host.
Yeah.
It was a big, fugly mess, and we had to make a very, very unplanned, unwanted move. Well, guess what? We finally have deleted the old podcast host. So if for some reason, everything should have redirected definitely by now.
Mm-hmm.
I left it up longer than I had to. So there shouldn't be any reason someone might not see their episode of Haunt Weekly on their usual channels. But if that is you, go resubscribe. It's still hauntweekly.com, but I know the feed URL changed. But go subscribe there, resubscribe. We're sorry. It is not our fault. It was not our decision. Mm-hmm. I would have rather probably pulled out my chest hairs with pliers than have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Born from Weird Al in that joke.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so anyways, if you're having any issues, hauntweekly.com, resubscribe. There's lots of buttons to subscribe just about everywhere I can think a podcast might be listenable. Mm-hmm. So yeah, please do that. And honestly, yeah, I get the irony of putting this notice in the podcast itself, but help your friends out, you know? If someone says, geez, I sure miss Jonathan and Crystal, please, I want them back in my podcast reader, just clue them in. There you go. All right. Last week's episode was a weird one.
It was.
We did it really without show notes, and we did it in the middle of vacation. So one of the things we didn't do was either ask a question of the week or look through the replies of the question of the week.
Right.
So what we're doing this week, it's the question of 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Basically. And that question was, what is a basic scare that you think every haunter should know how to perform and or build? And we got a lot of great answers. Very popular one this time around. Victor Ruella said, hiding in the shadow, using the shadows to hide in plain sight. I love this one because it's so simple, but he's right. It's something that a lot of people don't really get.
Yeah. And, if you set it up right, it's beautiful and it's easy. Christopher Fletcher said, scare and retreat.
This is very important. And in fact, I actually kind of want to come back to this topic for a full episode.
Yeah.
Because the scare and retreat is it's how you really improve the scare.
Right.
When something's suddenly not there, it adds a little bit of oomph, I find a lot. But it's also about actor safety.
Yes.
And one of the things we talked about previously is how it's gotten to be a little bit more dangerous to be an actor. Mm-hmm. So please be safe, scare, and retreat. And a lot of this speaks to haunt design.
Yes.
Because if you're designing your haunt and not giving actors retreat spaces, don't do that. That is bad.
That means you are putting them in physical danger.
And I don't care. I mean, every haunt actor talks tough.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't care. I'm not gonna. No one's gonna hurt me. Dude, we had an actor get shot like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that shit
Yeah,
anymore.
and there's plenty of stories of people getting punched by customers, so...
Punched or hit or
Yeah,
even
it's
stabbed.
not necessary.
Yeah, just, there's no reason to do this.
No.
Give your actors retreat spaces. Allow them a way to back out of a scene before they get hit.
Mm-hmm.
Max Schick says how to use your body and how to contort yourself. He mentioned it could be like how to contort yourself in unnatural ways, or how to make yourself appear bigger or smaller than you are.
Right.
How to use, like, okay, I'm 42 years old with a bad back. I ain't doing any weird contortions. I'm lucky I'm walking, all right, at this juncture. But he's got a point. How to appear bigger if you need to be more intimidating.
Right.
Or how to appear smaller if you need to hide or be out of the way. Mm-hmm. That's a really, really good skill.
Yeah, and we have an actor who is gigantic, but can hide behind the tiniest things, and I have no idea how he does it.
You know...
But it's awesome.
He really does make great use of line of sight.
Yeah.
I can tell that he's one of the, like us, he'll walk into a room and say, okay, what are the parts of the room I can't see?
Yep.
That's a very important skill to have.
It is.
We also had several people say, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, several people that answered with drop panels.
And I agree, that is something that every haunter should know how to use. Because
drop panels, slide windows, there were several names for them too, which I found interesting.
Yeah. But basically, if you want to teach an actor haunt timing, give them a drop panel. It's this way they're not focusing on anything other than timing.
Right.
A drop panel is one motion, drop, bang, bah, scare. It just sounded like a printer dying.
Dud Matrix.
But yeah, but that is the thing. If you want to teach someone how to do haunt acting timing, that way they're focused only on the timing, and they will notice when they're getting better reactions and how to make it work.
Yeah.
All right, but that brings us to this week's question of the week. What items do you think haunts should sell? In addition to tickets, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Obviously, you sell fucking tickets, and obvious answers like T-shirts and pins and buttons.
Yeah,
probably
we did a whole episode about merchandising.
Let's set all that aside. I want some weird shit you think haunts can make a mint selling. I want something we didn't think of.
Okay.
I want some stuff, and we got a few things in this episode I think are really, really cool. But I want to hear your thoughts on this. Let us know, what kind of odd things do you think haunts can make a mint selling? Let us know. HauntWeekly.com, HauntWeekly on Twitter, HauntWeekly on Facebook, and YouTube.com/HauntWeekly. What you got?
I've got an answer.
Oh.
That I hadn't thought of before.
Oh, okay. I'm here.
If you have access to a 3D printer, a 3D printing of your star character, their head.
Or you could also do a 3D print of just the logo if you didn't have a star character.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could have some fun with that.
No.
Yeah, I think that's not a terrible idea. What else should we... I really want to see haunts. I would love to see a haunt that sold a book based on the legend of the haunt.
Yeah, and we've talked about doing that with the multiple stories and making like a collection.
Yeah.
And we should do that for like the 25th.
Well, that's coming up faster than either of us want to admit.
I know, but the other thing I would really like to see that would be really easy and stupid cheap are magnetic bumper stickers.
That's true. We do see a lot of haunts that sell bumper stickers, but they typically only sell the sticky kind.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like putting
stickers.
They're a little too permanent.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I'll say this, one of the best investments we ever made for promoting our haunt was the car magnet sticker we got of Bernie Baxter. We got to find those things.
I think they actually came off on the interstate somewhere.
Probably.
Yeah.
Amazed we didn't
That was after a couple of years of use.
Yeah, we might need to pick up new ones, though.
Yeah.
Those were great.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, what items do you think haunts should sell that they're not currently? Let us know at all those places I mentioned above. All right, this is also an even-numbered episode. So that means we are getting to do the conference reminders. Huzzah! Crystal, kick us off, please.
All right, Michigan Haunt Fest, June 24th through the 26th.
Coming up this weekend.
At the Oaks Campground in Munith, Michigan. Demos are free of charge. Make and takes have individual fees. Meals are not included. Saturday attendees charge $2 entry fee into the campgrounds. Children are free, though. Includes campsite decorating contest, family movie night, and MichiganHauntFest.weebly.com for more info.
All right, after that, it's Haunters Against Hate, or HA, the event. July 8th through the 10th in Lexington, Kentucky at the Clarion Center North, featuring drag show, cosplay competitions, makeup contests, and many, many special guests. That's HAHTheevent.com. HaTheevent.com.
July 16th through the 17th is Texas Haunters Convention at the Mesquite Convention Center in Mesquite, Texas, featuring axe throwing, a costume ball, costume contest, escape room visit, game night, scavenger hunt, Rocky Horror Picture Show, and a lot more.
Yeah, they have the most ridiculous list of activities we've ever covered in conference reminders. And
they're also visiting haunted houses, of course, because it is an area in Texas where there are haunted houses to visit. TexasHauntersConvention.com for more info. All right, after that, July 29th through the 31st in Savannah, Georgia, a town we just drove through. It's the Southeast Hollows Haunted Convention at the Savannah Convention Center. Magicians will be doing demos on the show floor, a masquerade ball, a fashion show, and makeup contest, and more. SEHC, that's SEHHC.com. Okay, July 29th through the 31st, it is Midsummer Scream at the Pasadena Convention Center in Pasadena, California. I'd be really disappointed the Pasadena Convention Center was in another town. Well, yeah, but featuring the Hall of Shadows and the Screaming Room, Monster Kids panel featuring descendants of Lon Chaney, Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi, and Vincent Price, moderated by Kirk Hammett. MidsummerScream.org for more info. Yeah, the Hall of Shadows is definitely a bucket list item for me. Yeah. I have to see that at some point. Yeah, I wish we could go this year. That'd be cool. I wish we could too. Maybe next year, though. Yeah. Maybe. All right. So, the previous episode, we spent a lot of time talking about our 3 haunt visits to Myrtle Beach. And basically, one of the things I've come to realize is we have to look at year-round haunts, especially year-round haunts in tourist areas, as something very different than a more traditional, quote-unquote, haunted attraction. Yeah. Because they operate under a very different business model. Yeah. They operate usually a very different kind of attraction. So yeah, I think I'm realizing just how different those buckets are, and I'm looking forward to and hoping to hit more year-round haunted attractions or tourist seasonal ones coming up over the next few years. I'd like to make that a priority. Yeah. But yeah, we had an interesting time there. I think all 3 haunts had something interesting going for them. I think that's safe to say. Yeah. So I would go back and listen to that. But yeah, basically, these were short haunts. They didn't have very many actors. Most were very, very heavy on curb appeal. We'll be talking more about that in a minute. However, we did not just visit haunts. It turns out we spent over a week, pretty much a week there. Yeah. And yeah, if we'd had just visited haunts, we would have probably left in one day. But no, we did a lot of other things. We played a lot of mini golf, which if you're not familiar with Myrtle Beach mini golf culture, it's nuts. It's like the capital of... they call it the mini golf capital of the world, and I think it's got a fucking legit claim on that. Yes. There are several mini golf places every block. Yeah. And these are not like, your little putt-putt zone outside the kids' fun park. No. These are giant fucking establishments, oftentimes going 3 stories high in tree houses and stuff. Yeah. They have huge waterfalls. They have... statues everywhere. So yeah, we look at those through the prism of haunted attraction operators and go, okay, what can we learn from these guys? There's enough similarities, I think, to really pull out some things. We also did a fair amount of dining out. We did visit the beach a couple of times. We didn't spend nearly as much time there as I know you wanted to. No. And I'm sorry about that. That's okay. But we also visited a lot of touristy shops. Yeah. Well, and it was also really hot. Yes, it was. I'm curious. I'm a beach person at night. After the sun goes down is when I want to go to the beach. Yeah, my favorite beach memory with you, and it's actually apropos to talk about it on Haunt Weekly, is the time we visited Galveston. Yeah. And we ended up, surprise, going to the amusement park on the pier. Right.
and from there walking on the beach. And this was like at midnight.
Yeah, exactly. That's when I want to be on a beach.
It's a very, very beautiful time to be on the beach too, especially under the lights of the amusement park there. It was actually really wonderful.
It was really pretty.
I did not hate that beach experience. No. I'm not a beach person at any time, but I did not hate that experience at all. That was quite nice. And of course, we also, thanks to Ellie being with us, visited more yarn shops than I ever knew existed in the places we were going to.
Yes. And we learned some lessons there too.
Yeah. So, basically our attitude is everything we do, we look for ideas to make haunted attractions better, more profitable, more fun, basically just to help us up our game. And to that end, we have a few interesting suggestions from the other stuff we did at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
That may give haunters some new ideas. One thing that I found very, very interesting, getting back to the mini golf, because we're going to be talking a fair amount about mini golf. As weird as it sounds, once again, just Google Myrtle Beach mini golf. If you don't believe me, if you don't understand why this is such a big deal, you'll get it very quickly. Just an image search alone will probably get you there. But yeah, if you want to get ideas for upsells or add-on sales, you need to go to some Myrtle Beach mini golf courses.
Yeah.
They are legends at finding other crap to sell you. One of my favorites I saw was a mini golf course that, as you were exiting, had a booth where you could buy trophies.
Right.
And not just I'm number one in mini golf, they also had one that was a horse's ass for whoever's last place.
Exactly.
They had a variety of different trophies, sayings, and poses and things like that. And they were remarkably affordable. I think they were like $7.50 each or something like that.
Yeah.
So theoretically, it would not have... In fact, it would have been less than the ticket to go mini golfing.
Right.
But it's such an obvious upsell of that type of place. Trophies, medals. Now, haunts really aren't a competitive thing.
Right.
But I do believe that an escape room could make this work.
Yes.
A team trophy for completing the room, or a singular trophy to congratulate the most important MVP of the team.
Yeah.
Because every game has an MVP.
Yeah, I think you should also have a rotten pumpkin for the person who just screwed it up. Because they know who they are. We've had them on our team. We've had
with an eye.
Yes.
Tony. That bitch ever walks into one of my escape rooms, I'm going to punch her. I'm going to throw her in a closet and lock her in there.
Yeah, just leave her in her puzzle and we'll go through the rest.
Just tell her to solve a puzzle we've already solved and tell her not to come out until she's done with it.
Exactly.
God damn.
But I could see that being really fun for people to buy for each other or for themselves.
Yeah, and it could also work well with a haunt too, especially as a gag gift for someone that was super scared or something like that. Yeah. You could have a lot of fun with that too. But I think in an escape room, it's an easy thing to slot in. And that was one of the things I was thinking about when I was writing these notes. Haunts have worked really hard at trying to get gift shops and merch booths and things going. Escape rooms have not brought that same energy.
No, they have not.
At least not the ones I've been to. Maybe I'm wrong. If you know escape rooms that have great energy here in this area, let us know.
Yeah, the only thing that I've seen are...
T-shirts,
keychains, and...
the photos.
The
printed photo.
Yeah, the printed photo of you escaped or you didn't escape.
Yeah. I agree with that. So I think that's something that we need... That is, and it's weird because so many haunts own escape rooms. Yeah. You would think the same energy would just transfer automatically, but no.
It seems obvious.
It seems obvious as hell, especially considering after an escape room, you've kind of got a captive audience there for a little bit.
Right. Well, and before it, too.
Yeah.
So that they could be looking at it, checking it out.
Yeah, so anyways, I don't know. If you know of a place of an escape room that has a great upsell, great secondary market there, let us know. I'd like to check them out. Another mini golf place sold, I kid you not, custom golf balls.
Yeah.
Now you couldn't play with them.
Because they would sink if you lost them in the water.
Yeah. They were. I did not know this until this trip, but apparently mini golf balls are lighter than regular golf balls.
Yeah, they're hollowed out or something.
They're lighter, and apparently it's so that they can float if they ever get in water hazards.
Maybe they're cork filled.
Maybe I really don't know. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I actually held both my custom golf ball. I got one.
Yeah.
It had one with a pirate flag on it. I had to get it. It was a legal obligation.
Yes, and Ellie got a happy face one.
and the ones they would let you play with. And side by side, I couldn't feel a significant difference. Yeah. So whatever they do different between them, it can't be drastic. Mm-hmm. But yeah, one sold custom golf balls. I think that could be really cool. I would love to see, one thing I would love to see, I did not see this at mini golf, but why are we not offering videotapes of their escape attempt in escape rooms?
Yeah. Yeah, that
you know, like you got cameras everywhere.
That seems like a good idea.
You know, you can put that burn it on a DVD pretty quick, and
yeah,
or just have it available as a private file for them to access on the internet.
Yep, exactly.
This seems obvious to me because you've already got it.
Yeah,
you're just not offering it for sale. Would a lot of teams want that? I don't know. There are some people very fucking serious about escape rooms. Mm-hmm. Like I'm a member of several groups on Facebook. I like escape rooms. Yeah. I'll even go far enough to say I love escape rooms.
Yeah.
I can't hold a candle to these people and their passion.
No, not at all. And, you know, they would probably rewatch that. And the other thing is families want to do it and they don't get together often. Like, we've done an escape room with all of Ellie's family.
Yeah, I had 11 people in that room.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a copy of that.
I agree. So yeah, I think that's an interesting idea that, like I said, we didn't actually get that one from Myrtle Beach, but it was something I thought of while I was writing these notes. Like, holy crap, you already have it!
Yeah. Yeah.
You just have to find a way to make it available to them. Another thing that I found very interesting on this trip was nearly every place you went, whether it was a mini golf course, whether it was a bar, a restaurant, every place, even the surf shops, all had physical giveaways, physical things you got just for coming through and saying howdy. Now, none of this was very expensive.
No.
But, I mean, I've got a box in the kitchen because I haven't put it up because I'm a lazy son of a bitch, that's filled with this crap.
Yeah.
It really is. Because, like, for example, we went drinking at one bar that was on the ocean, and we got a fishbowl and a bucket that our drinks were served in.
Yeah. Yes. That was an accident. I did not mean to order a fishbowl of alcohol.
Well, then the thing about it was we actually consumed some of that before going to Zombie Zone.
Yes.
So, anyways, but yeah, in old times with haunted attractions, people would keep their tickets.
Yeah, we've got a drawer full of them.
Yeah, and it was neat because you would tear the barcode you bit off, and you would hand what essentially is a piece of artwork. People don't think of tickets this way, but it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you're not doing the Staples roll of tickets, as long as you're getting actual printed tickets that reflect your haunt's design and branding.
Exactly.
As long as you've got that, it's artwork. You're giving them a piece of artwork that they can hang on to, and probably will.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, I can't put my hands on them right this second, but somewhere in this house we have last season tickets from both Chamber of Horrors and House of Shock.
Yeah?
Because we went there last seasons.
Yeah, I know we did.
I know that they're somewhere in this house. I'm just not sure where.
Well, I mean, as we learned from my parents, apparently we'll discover it whenever we're getting ready to move to our retirement home. And we have to throw out 90% of our stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they chose to do that, actually. They wanted the simpler life. And, I'm happy for them. I think it's neat and so on. But anyways, what can we give customers? Because if you buy tickets online, you just hold a QR code up to a scanner, you get beeped in, you gain nothing. We need something like that. Like, for example, at mini golf, you keep the scorecard. Now, my family, I didn't play with my actual family that was there this time around. And I understand it was hotter than hell and they're old.
Yeah, they've got some issues that make it hard for them to be in the heat.
And I get that. But you, me, Ellie, and Shawnee played. And with my family, there was always a fairly strict rule. We were not like super overly competitive about it. But the only time you would hear routine trash talk between my family members was on the mini golf course.
Yeah.
There would often be a lot of trash and talking. My mom is really good at the trash talking.
She is. I've played with your family.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yes. She can get under your skin.
Yes. The first mini golf trip to Myrtle Beach was an experience.
Yeah, it was.
We'll just say that.
Was 10 years ago.
No, like 20.
Oh, God, are we that far along? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you're probably right. But yeah, you saw the competition firsthand. You saw the attitude. You saw how it works. But we always had the rule, winner keeps the scorecard. Mm-hmm. Needless to say, I've got some scorecards.
Yeah, you do.
It's true. But anyways, restaurants and bars, like we said, give away novelty glasses and cups and things like that. Mm-hmm. What can we give? I am genuinely asking this question because I spent a lot of time racking my brain on this. It used to be the ticket. Mm-hmm. What do we give that has the haunt name / logo on it, is extremely cheap. Mm-hmm. Like, you find something you don't mind giving away, just, like it ain't.
Stickers?
Stickers, maybe. But stickers have their own problem because they stop sticking.
Yeah.
They're not permanent.
No.
They stop sticking. So what can we give away? It has to feel somewhat valuable from an emotional standpoint. And once again, that's why tickets were always so great. Mm-hmm. Because that's what they pay for. There's an emotional connection tied to that. And this is why people keep like concert tickets too. It's the same thing. So yeah, I wanna have a think on this one. What can we give every customer as a physical takeaway?
You've got extra flyers and stuff. Put them out. Let people take them.
And the reason I think this is important, by the way, is this is a long-term reminder of the haunt, and because if you run a traditional, September, October, November haunt, you've got at least 9 months out of the year people are not thinking about you.
Yeah.
That is a lot of time for them to forget about you. And that is a lot of work that you have to do the next year with your marketing to remind people about you. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, anything that can help keep us in customers' minds during the off-season, I think really could be useful. And I know the old, I kept my ticket sounds silly. Mm-hmm. It works. People form a connection with those. People get proud of their collections.
Yeah. Like, imagine the first time somebody goes, your haunt is the first haunt they've ever been through. What are they going to be able to have to remember that it was you that they went to?
Yeah. And do so without having to necessarily hit up the merch shop.
Yeah.
I really think this is something we're kind of dropping the dog on here. Mm-hmm. It seems so silly, but if you do it right and it's so little cost, it's not much risk. Mm-mm. And the potential for payoff is pretty big, especially if you have a great show and customers really identify and connect with what you're doing. Mm-hmm. All right. The next item up for discussion is curb appeal. Every place in Myrtle Beach has an amazing facade of some stripe.
Yeah.
Now, the Wax Museum, the haunt that was in the Wax Museum was in the basement of the building. It didn't really have much of a facade at all.
No, but the actual building had King Kong on top.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy pants. And to give you an idea, go ahead and look up the Wax Museum in Myrtle Beach, Florida. Look at like Google Maps or something. Mm-hmm. It is right along a major highway, and it's not a very built-up area.
No.
It's got a few things out that way, but not much.
Yeah, it's near a boardwalk at the beach.
Yeah, it's not a super built-up area. And so you've got, not compared to the rest of Myrtle Beach for certain. No. So you got this really fast highway going by it. Mm-hmm. Believe me, you will see that shit from the highway.
Yeah.
The Wax Museum building was just impressive for its size and scope. Ripley's, which now we're getting onto the strip itself, Ocean Boulevard. So this is a much more intimate environment we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. They had the chainsaw balcony. They had upstairs areas on the second floor where you walk across a balcony or run across a balcony.
Yeah, and that was for the haunted house.
Yeah.
And for the Ripley's Museum, they actually had the tallest man mechanism, robot? Animatronic, that's a good word for it. I'm like, what's the right word?
Well, but see, animatronic is not like in the haunt industry we think of animatronic as something much more with movement to it, but this was very limited moving.
Yeah, basically he starts in a sitting position and then he stands up.
Yeah.
And you could see how much shorter you are than the tallest man that's ever lived. And he is very tall. And he almost got me to go into that museum again, even though I've already been in.
I think you've been in there at least once. Yeah. I think you've been in there multiple times, actually.
I have.
It's not a bad museum. I mean, no. I know that Ripley's, believe it or not, has sort of gotten complicated in recent years. I don't know all the details about it, but, still, they had very good facade, very good exterior. And Zombie Zone probably had the quote-unquote weakest exterior, but they had a character out front getting traffic and handling stuff, and he was doing great work.
Yeah.
And they had a really, really cool sign and a really cool facade for it's a tiny-ass building, so they couldn't do so much. They don't do so much. But yeah, you knew exactly what it was.
I think the building was painted lime green, too, to make it stand out from all the beachy colors.
Yeah. And every single mini golf place you pass has giant shit you can see from the road when it comes over.
Which one are we going to? Are we going to the one with the giant volcano, the dinosaurs, the plane crash?
Or the pirate ship? I want to go to the pirate ship.
Yes. The pirate ship with the skeleton in the water. Yeah. Not the one without the skeleton.
Yeah. Very, very important distinction.
Yes. Actual conversations.
We are pro-skeleton pirate ships.
Yes.
Very strongly here.
Yeah, and on that note, one of the things that I noticed going through these is that there was always two directions to go. In one was the more popular course, and one was the less popular course.
Yeah, the mini golf in particular.
For the mini golf. Yeah. And for the popular courses, it was always something that went through the giant thing.
Yeah.
But since lots of times we were under time pressure, we would take the less traveled course. And it was fun, too, and still went through the giant thing, just at a different point.
And just not as obviously from the outside.
Exactly.
So, but how do we, as haunters, exploit this? I mean, we talk about having a good facade and the importance of it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It may not be as important, because haunts are not really an impulse visit, unless you are in a tourist area.
Yeah.
Like this. Because these haunts, especially the Ripley's one and the Zombie Zone one, were definitely impulse decisions for us.
Yeah.
We're on the Strip. Holy shit, these things are here. Let's go. Let's plug down the money and go do them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. But Curb Appeal still advertises a haunt during the off-season. Once again, it's about getting some of that top-of-mind awareness. And, to give you an example, Rise here has an amazing facade. They really do have a great facade.
Yeah.
But they are so far back from the road that you don't see it. Now, for a time, they had a really cool sign.
Yeah, they did.
I think storm damage has taken care of the sign, though.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but what you going to do? I mean, it's New Orleans.
Well, and Mortuary here has a beautiful building.
Yeah, and Mortuary has the cheat code.
They do.
Because they just have they don't have a facade. They just are in a gorgeous building with giant columns.
Yeah.
You add some spooky underlighting and boom, Bob's your uncle, man. It's over.
Yeah. Well, and I'd have to go through it, go over there sometime. But I wonder if they keep the gargoyles out on the off season so that people can take photos with them.
I don't know.
Because I think leaving up a photo op outside of the haunt is a cool idea.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, basically, people notice and remember big, strange things.
Yep.
So if you have a big, strange thing that is within view of the road near you, just saying. I mean, it's this is an area where, local haunts are kind of disappointing. Like, New Orleans Nightmare, no one drives by New Orleans Nightmare. They're not... Not on an actual road. It's very weird trying to describe it, but they're not on a road.
They're basically in an industrial area.
Yeah. 13th Gate doesn't have a facade at all, really?
No, it's the outside looks like a metal building, and when you step inside, it's like entering a fantasy world.
Yeah, there's a real weird juxtaposition from outside when you go in.
Yeah.
We already talked about Rise. We already talked about Mortuary. So yeah,
that's it.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
Darkwoods.
They have a great sign.
Yeah.
They actually really do have a great sign you can see from the road. I think Darkwoods does do this right. Or does this... It's a trail haunt, okay?
Yeah, but it's also along an interstate.
Yeah. Well, a state highway. I think it's
a state highway.
But yeah, it's along
a major road.
It's a very, very big, very fast road that is a major one in the area. And they have a great sign that you definitely can see and read it trivially from that road.
Yeah.
So that's good. So yeah, but basically, this was something I was noticing was at every place in Myrtle Beach, whether they were a haunted house, mini golf course, and once again, even the bars and restaurants, big, obvious things from the road. Every single one. And here they're trying to lure in impulse visitors. With haunts, and especially non-tourist ones, we're trying to keep people aware of us even when we're not open.
Yeah.
So, still, it sounds like it's a good idea. I mean, in tourist locations, every customer is a new customer. And that's probably going to be their only time through, as we found out in Myrtle Beach. That is not always true.
Right.
But it's largely true. You're never going to see these people again unless they come back to the same vacation destination every year, which some people do. But odds are you're not going to see those same people again.
No.
That's not true with a local traditional seasonal haunt where you are very much dependent upon repeat customers and bringing people back.
Right.
Next item up is the catering to your audience. And I want to say this all delicately because we spend a lot of time in the touristy shops, the knick-knack shops, things like that. Myrtle Beach is a very, very conservative place in every respect of the word.
Yeah, I was not prepared for that.
I was more prepared for that and still not prepared for how conservative it is today compared to what I remember decades ago.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You go into any of the touristy shops, they sell merch that's relevant to that audience.
Yeah.
And this is regardless of the fact that I'm pretty sure the managers and people running these oftentimes don't share some of those views.
Right.
They're catering to their audience. They have studied their market. They know what will sell, and they're putting it out there. So yeah, they know their audience. And this is something you realize very, very quickly as you go through these shops is that even ones run by very different people have a lot of the same kinds of stuff. Because it's what the audience demands, what the audience wants. So one of the hardest things to do in a haunt is to provide a service or provide a scare or provide something to your customers that you yourself do not think is good. But, your customers want it. I mean, the expression "the customer is always right" is truncated. The actual real expression is the customer is always right in matters of taste. And that's very important. If your customer wants you to pour melted chocolate on their fish sandwich, you pour chocolate on the fucking fish sandwich. So yeah, it's matters of taste that are important.
Yeah. And
so that's what these shops and what basically everywhere in Myrtle Beach does is they know their audience, they know who's coming, and they cater to them.
Well, and it's kind of a sticky point for me because I hate chainsaws in haunted houses. I think it's overdone. But I've talked to many people who run away from them, and they say that that's their favorite thing in the whole freaking haunt. So maybe I'm wrong on this. We
have a sort of the privilege of not running a paid haunt.
Yeah.
And that means we don't have to put chainsaws in our fucking haunt.
Exactly.
We don't really have a space that's good for it anyway.
No, because we'd be scaring into the road, and we don't want to do that.
No, we really don't have a space for it.
No.
Either. So we can't, even if we did want to. But we don't want to, so we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
But if we were running a pro haunt and we were dependent upon those repeat visitors, we'd have to have a serious conversation about exactly that. It's a good example.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I will say, haunters, we have to be careful about is we do a lot of the expectation setting.
Yeah.
And so I've heard haunters say, oh yeah, well they expect to see Jason, Freddy, and Pennywise when they come through our haunt. That's what they expect to see. And because you made them expect to see that.
Yeah.
That's why.
Exactly.
You created that. You have to undo it. Especially so if you don't want to get sued.
Yeah, the only place I want to see characters from movies is Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
And places like that. I don't want to see them in other professional haunts. I don't want to see them.
I want to see your ideas. I want to see your characters. I want to see what you come up with. We're such a creative industry, but the creativity kind of stops at this point so many times, and it's pissing me off. All right. Two more sections to go through real fast. I know we're getting a little long in the tooth here. the power of advertising. Mm-hmm. As I said earlier, in a tourist area, every customer is a first-time customer pretty much across the board. So this is really the power of advertising, in particular, the power of outdoor advertising.
Yeah.
How many times did we Google shit we saw on a billboard?
That's how we initially got
Zombie Zone.
Zombie Zone.
Yeah.
Because you took a picture of it driving to play frisbee golf.
Yeah, disc golf. My dad is going to come murder you. He's apt to remind you that these are not frisbees.
They are not. I have actually held them now and know that they are not frisbees.
They are quite a bit heavier, so you don't want to
getting hit. They're different sizes.
Yeah, getting hit in the head with a frisbee isn't a bad thing. Getting hit in the head with a disc golf disc will probably ruin your week.
Yeah,
at least. But yeah, the power of outdoor advertising is really impressive because it lets people know you exist. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing: that is where you let them know, hey, we're here. Mm-hmm. It's up to your web presence or other marketing to explain the details.
Exactly.
And this is why you need that top flight web and social media presence. You need to be wherever your audience is. You need that .com. You need the Facebook, the tweets, the TikToks, all that stuff. You need to be wherever your potential customers are and where they're likely to be searching you out once they learn you exist. Mm-hmm. A billboard can only show me that you exist somewhere in this area.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell me how much you cost. It doesn't tell me what you're really about, what your selling point is. Mm-mm. It just tells me you exist. You have not turned into energy. E equals MC squared has not happened to you yet.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So yeah, we noticed very quickly what we were doing on this trip was finding out that things exist, either by seeing them as we pass them in the cars, we go up and down the strip, see them on a billboard, or just learn about it from those little touristy cards you can pick up, learning about what exists, and then Googling it to find out if this is something we want to make time for.
Yep.
That was the entire process. So basically, make sure all of your information is up to date in Google Maps and Apple Maps. We really leaned heavy on Google Maps. We usually do, but this was especially true. Make sure the address of your business, the business type, your hours, your prices, everything is correct in Google Maps and Google Business. And also check with Bing and Microsoft too. And people use them.
And make sure that those match what's on your Facebook page.
Yes.
And your social media stuff. Because that was one of the things that was so frustrating about the yarn shops. Is that their business hours never matched.
Nope.
It's like maybe 1 out of the 6 or so stores we visited matched. And some of them we drove out of the way to go to, and they were closed even though it said they were open.
Yeah, we had multiple places confirming they were supposed to be open.
Yeah.
And that includes one in Savannah, Georgia that really kind of ticked us off.
Well, yeah, because it was an hour out of the way.
Yeah.
Round trip.
And they were, all the social media presence, all they had said they were supposed to be open. We get there, they were closed.
Yeah.
And not like recently closed either. They looked dead closed.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, that was frustrating. Make sure it all matches.
Sorry, did you say that?
My Apple Watch has just decided to join the conversation. Player 3 enters the game. No, I will not say that again.
No.
But yeah, basically use your online presence to actually convey the information. Use your advertising, especially if you're in a hyper-competitive market like this, to let people know you exist and that they should be interested in you.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Exactly.
And speaking of yarn stores, God, we went to a lot, and no, I don't knit. You do. You crochet, though.
I do a little bit of both, but I don't do nearly as much as Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie is gaga for yarn.
Yeah, Fiber Arts is her bag, and she's wanting to open a store soon.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason we visited.
One of the elements of this trip was hitting as many of these shops as we physically could and learning everything we could about the different ways to run a yarn store. Mm-hmm. One thing I found very interesting, and this was something that came up in multiple shops, was the importance of having something that ties your business to the local area.
Yeah.
Now, in yarn stores, this usually came in the format of, either handcrafted items from local artists. Mm-hmm. This could be everything from like stitch markers to special things to measure the size of yarn and things like
that. Pins and buttons.
Yeah. So either things from local artists. Several shops also had specially dyed yarn, dyed by local artists. Mm-hmm. So you could get totally unique yarn to that area. Yeah. Because no two jobs are going to be the same.
Exactly.
Which might also be a little frustrating if you're trying to do a project that requires multiple skeins, but...
Yeah, it would be.
But still, that ties it to the local area. For tourists and visitors, it makes the experience feel more authentic. Mm-hmm. And for locals, they feel a sense of ownership and connection with it. Because the biggest decision you're probably going to make in your life is where you live.
Yeah.
Just truth. Where you live, where you put down your roots, where you do you is the biggest decision. And things like this support that decision and make it feel like you're in the right place.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Basically, like I said, for tourists and visitors, it makes it authentic. For locals, it gives them that connection and that warm and fuzzy feeling of these are my people, this is my stuff.
Yeah. This is not some big conglomerate that just moved into my neighborhood. This is somebody who knows me.
This is not wall yarn.
Yeah.
Rocking up. This is someone that actually is invested in the community that I'm invested in.
Right.
So, yeah. That's very, very important. Now, here's the thing. For a haunt, I would say that the easiest thing to do to tie to the local community is have your legend or story tie into it.
Yeah.
And if you can't... And also, when you have your merch booth, when you have, your gift shop... Have local artists, have local crafters there.
Yeah.
And highlight the fact that they are local.
Yes. If the haunts in the area opened up like a craft show for a weekend or an art show for their weekends that they're open, I could pull in like 6 artists in this area.
Oh, easily.
Because I've worked with many people who do creepy stuff like I do. And they try to sell it to people who come to places.
That is such a low ball in the number of people. You could probably get involved in that.
Oh, yeah. No, it's probably closer to 20, but...
Yeah, we'll say 6 because it's short notice.
Yeah, exactly. 6 for short notice.
6 for short notice. Yeah, basically, you prove that you are a member of the community, and saying, I'm a member of the community isn't going to quite cut it.
No.
You need to find a way to show that through what you do and what you sell.
Yeah.
And like I said, yarn stores, they found that niche. They found, like I said, all those things that you can buy from local artists. And like I said, the hand-dyed stuff was really interesting.
Yeah. And that's actually something that Hell's Gate did really well. And I bought many pieces of local artists' work from their gift shop.
Yep.
Plus Hell's Gate stuff.
Yeah. Hell's Gate did a really, really good job with that. And a lot of haunts do. And here's a good example of it not working out super well. And this isn't meant as a diss because I know they didn't pick the name. New Orleans Nightmare. Mm-hmm. Simply putting the name of the location in it isn't going to cut it by itself. Mm-mm. And especially when you know that there's a Nashville Nightmare. There's ones in other cities. What I think ties New Orleans Nightmare better to the New Orleans community is the fact that it is run by New Orleanians.
Yeah.
But just saying the name isn't enough.
No.
You've got to carry that weight somehow in your haunt and in your shop. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I think, though, that could be a really, really great thing there for haunts to do is to try to embed themselves more. We talk about this all the time.
Why are New Orleans haunts not selling miniature tombs? Like mausoleums and shit from the cemeteries that tourists come for?
I don't know. I would actually have to ask some of the haunt owners if they get a lot of tourists.
Well, even if they're not tourists, I like this idea. Okay.
No, I think it's a good idea. No, I'm not knocking the idea.
No, I'm just like, why the heck isn't anybody doing this? You could even have somebody with great penmanship or crappy penmanship writing names on it. Like upselling. Do you want your name on it? Here, we'll have our artist put your name on the frickin' tomb.
That is one thing I guess I did include in those that I did learn, is that people are gaga about buying shit with their name on it.
Yes.
like really gaga over that. Like there's a tourist shop called the Gay Dolphin. And for the record, it's an 85-year-old shop. The term "gay" had a very different meaning when they opened. They just haven't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The name is the term has changed and what it means, but it's a huge gift shop on so many floors. I mean, it's the most confusing experience of your life. It's like trying to shop while inside an MC Escher painting.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to describe it. But like a third of their shit is named stuff, whether it's the tiny license plates, the keychains, the plaques,
necklaces of various kinds.
Oh, bracelets. So much shit with people's name on it, and we never found Ellie's name.
No.
Not spelled correctly.
No.
But regardless, so maybe that's a hidden tip. Find a way to put people's name on shit.
Exactly.
Even if it's actual shit and terrible product, it apparently will still move, and I don't get it. I mean, because these sections, people were shopping at them the entire time we were there, and in many cases, they started to look a little threadbare.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm alone in that I don't want things that say Jonathan all over it. Because the only thing, I got autographs that say my name on my wall, and that's about it.
Yeah. I would take character autographs. Autographs from characters at haunts. Cool. Pictures that you signed. Yes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Give me that.
But yeah, people love shit with their name on it. Bonus tip. Anyways, that's all the time we have for this week. I greatly appreciate you spending the past hour or so with us. Please check out more of what we do. We're at HauntWeekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, YouTube.com/HauntWeekly is the YouTube channel. You can also find us wherever you get your podcast from. Go absolutely crazy. You'll find us there. Hopefully. No, we just removed the old host. Kind of crossing the fingers as I say this. But definitely check us out at all those fine places. And until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And we will see you all next week.